gathered that the suspected headsmen attacked the poultry farm behind Isele Azagma Mixed Secondary School Wednesday night, shooting the yet-to-be-identified farm manager and watchman. A reliable source says the third person, who was with the manager and watchman, took cover in the ceiling when he sighted the armed men and came down after the hoodlums left and raised the alarm. A source who pleaded anonymity said the murder took place behind Iselazaba Mixed Secondary School, the same place where a teacher was killed last year, with injuries inflicted on two other teachers. The assailants had scaled the farm fence to gain entrance into the compound and knocked at the elderly security man's door. On recognizing the voice of one of the headsmen, who they claimed usually come for water whenever he rears his cattle through the poultry, he queried why he chose to visit at such an odd hour. Their argument eventually woke the poultry manager, who had slept over at the farm. He was shot through the window of his room, while the watchman was shot at a close range. While the drama lasted, the third person had successfully climbed into the ceiling, where he took refuge. Contacted police public relations officer DSP Onome confirmed the incident, saying the command is aware of it. For now, the situation is calm as our men are working on clues, and as soon as there's any further development, I assure you we will make it possible. Or we'll make it public, I beg your pardon.
Well, quite unfortunate.
It is.
Because I think their men are always on top of the games, and that's exactly what I believe also. They can't be under it. But what is baffling to me is that how long are we going to live with the menace of these herdsmen? You came to drink water. For people, that usually where you come to drink water. And perhaps this night, it happens to be a day you said, okay, let me wipe off these people that give me water always. And the federal government and states, if there is unity, states will raise alarm and tell federal government to do something. You must do something about this menace. But it looks like everybody is not giving it much attention it deserves. Well, that is, the dead should go anytime they kill. That's it.
That's it. I think Delta State has, been having a lot of this frequently.
Yeah, it's, I think, longer than most of the states.
Yes. It just seems as if there's a thing with Delta State and this continually. So I would have thought that...
There are very many there.
This should have been a reason that area should have been a point of concentration for security officials.
Yeah, no, but see, the way the whole thing is going is like they are untouchable. So I don't know why. But I think the panacea would have been if state governments, considering exactly the number of times that these attacks have happened in their own domain, rise up all of them with one voice and say, no, we won't tolerate this again. Federal government, you must do something. I think they must be forced to do something. But now, nobody is saying it. When it happens to their own, well, it fizzles out. And it happens like that in special distances and all that. And nobody comes with one voice. So why wouldn't the federal government perhaps think they are not giving attention?
All right, then. Let's also check out another story. This is also in a newspaper. It says here that Tanzania restrictions delay led to spike in cases. This is what the WHO is saying. It says Tanzania's delay in enforcing stricter measures to prevent further spread of coronavirus in the country could have led to the spike in positive cases, according to the WHO. The body's regional director for Africa, Motsido Moeti, says there are concerns about the rise of cases reported in the East African country in the last few days. Certainly in Tanzania, we have observed that physical distancing, including the prohibition of mass gatherings, took some time to happen, and we believe that these might have been probable factors that led to a rapid increase in cases here. Tanzania's President John Magufuli had been widely criticized for encouraging the public to continue gathering in places of worship rather than imposing stringent restrictions to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus outbreak. Tanzania reported its first case on the 16th of March, and by Thursday, 284 people had tested positive for coronavirus. The government at the time closed all schools and universities for an initial period of 30 days to prevent the spread of the virus. The closure was extended last week. We always talked about how we're doing shutdowns here. Oh, we're quick to shut down, and we do not consider the people. Why are there not palliatives aside shutting us down? Are the government considering certain things? But I think a lot of people take the focus away the necessity to shut down and slow the movement of human beings in order to stifle the spread of the virus, which is crucial.
Yeah. It's not as if the shutting down is not important. It's very much of necessity to be done. But once one delays in shutting down when there should be a shutdown, you'll see a spike. And I think that's what they are talking about Tanzania. If you also remember in Nigeria, if we had closed our borders when we were supposed to, I don't think we would have had the number of because even if they increase testing today, you see more numbers of positive people and all that. But I think it's key. But maybe the president of Tanzania thought it was a joke before, and they finally found out it wasn't a joke.
Well, it's sad that he has to wait till he has numbers spiking this high. I do hope that they're able to stem the rising numbers there. As we now understand, social gatherings. And, I remember Magufuli a lot of times when he says that they should still continue going to churches and mosques and all of that. That this is not supposed to stop that. As a matter of fact, this is where they should seek the face of God more.
It's all right. Maybe it's part of these Nigerians that think that, no, you must go to church before you worship your God. Maybe. Because I know that the virus does not know where a church is or not.
All right. Let's get another story. Tanzania's restriction delay led to virus spike, WHO, and then another don't stigmatize health facilities in Lagos. This is coming from the Lagos State government. The Lagos State government has urged the public to desist from stigmatizing health facilities that might have been exposed to COVID-19 cases in the state. Dr. Abiola Idowu, Executive Secretary, State Health Facility Monitoring and Accreditation Agency, made the plea in a statement on Thursday night. Idowu was reacting to a list of some hospital facilities being circulated on social media as purportedly exposed to COVID-19 cases in the state. She said that such a list did not emanate from the agency, nor the State Ministry of Health. Through Hefama ever issued such a list. According to her, the stigma can drive people to hide the illness to avoid discrimination, prevent people from seeking healthcare immediately, and discourage them from adopting health behaviors. Idowu explained that some health facilities might inadvertently be admitted or treated patients with COVID-19 without knowing. She said that if such happened, the facility will be temporarily closed for decontamination, while the staff will be trained on infection prevention and control, after which the facility will be safe to carry on its normal operations. Idowu, however, appealed to the patients infected with COVID-19 to prevent severe health problems by reporting to the government designated facility for treatment. She also urged all health facilities operating in Lagos to adhere strictly to the principle on infection prevention and control and maintain a high degree of suspicion for COVID-19. But I don't think that you really will blame the people who want to shy away from hospitals whose names have come up as perhaps have had patients who were COVID-19 possible. I think it's just human nature.
And it is. I tell you, if Emmanuel Dukwe were in Lagos, I heard this facility had treated a COVID-19 person. Whether the person survived or he died, I will look for elsewhere, at least the ones I've not heard. You see that if a human dies, while alive, you've been interacting, doing everything. But as soon as he dies, the fear, you may not even go close to the corpse. I'm talking about away from COVID-19. Now the question will be, now the person is no longer able to do anything and is not powerful. Why are you afraid? I think such fears perhaps are natural. If you say that somebody, he also said it, the level of the contamination, who knows? You don't know exactly whether he was treated or she was treated there. whether they contaminated the facility or not. So that alone will form a wedge between you and that facility. So I think it will just be natural, but the fact remains that government trust, or government could win people's trust when they know that, yes, they moved into this place and perhaps they contaminated that place or not. If not, this trend of fear will continue. It's not a matter of government order this time.
It's just funny how we think that, because we're dealing with this virus now, and therefore when you hear that this place have all COVID-19 people have been here for a period of time, that you should feel free to use the facility. People will definitely still have a little fear with associating with that hospital, especially when we understand that we're a little messy when it comes to things like this. When we say we have decontaminated, do we truly decontaminate everything? I mean, if we had that belief in our systems, then we'll be comfortable. Once they say they have decontaminated, we'll be happy to just, because we know that they've done that to the letter. But there are cases where certain lapses and we do things in a very shoddy manner. Maybe in decontaminating, all you did was just clean a few things and you said you've decontaminated. Meanwhile, you've got the virus festering in certain areas. People will be apprehensive. I think what, first of all, they should do is concentrate on hospitals that indeed have had COVID-19 patients and make sure that they decontaminate those hospitals completely, and isolate them, keep them out of system for about another week or so, and then allow people to access them and allow people to use them, in this slow trend. It's with one patient in, two patients that they'll begin to gain their confidence in using those facilities again.
I think that's what they should do, because you won't blame anybody who ate what was served to him like maybe fowl, and later on another person told him it was vulture. He will start being afraid for his life and all that. It's not as if vulture will kill him or whatever. That's exactly what obtains here. I tell you, it's natural.
All right. Let's get to another story in the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Don't stigmatize health facilities exposed to COVID-19 cases. This is coming from the Lagos State government. And then another here says COVID-19 discrimination. Federal government draws red line with China. I mean, speaking about discrimination, even China is doing that. It says here that the federal government said yesterday it has drawn the red line with China over allegations of continued racial discrimination against blacks and Africans, particularly Nigerians resident in Guangzhou province and other parts of the country. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Geoffrey Onyema, disclosed this during the daily briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja. There have been reports that Nigerians and other blacks are being forced to undergo a second round of COVID-19 tests, while they are also barred from accessing certain services in China. This is in addition to videos showing Nigerians and other blacks being physically assaulted by Chinese mobs. The warning came as the federal government advised health workers on the front line of the onslaught against the virus to be cautious in handling the pandemic, lamenting that over 40 health workers in the country had so far contracted the virus in line of duty. Government also explained its inability to making testing compulsory for all Nigerians, saying while more resourced countries have not been able to do that, Nigeria has not exhausted its daily testing capacity of 1,500 people, as only an average of 600 people are currently tested daily. The disclosure came on a day a mobile court in the Federal Capital Territory convicted an Islamic cleric, Malam Isa Ismail, and two others for willful violation of the lockdown order. But let's look at the fact that the federal government has drawn the line with China, says it will not tolerate racism and discrimination against Nigerians. And it says here that they've continually seen videos and heard messages of Nigerians who are restricted from accessing certain services in China. And for the federal government, he says, this is it. We can't take this any longer.
Yes, they can't take it. Nobody will be very happy when his son or daughter is being maltreated. So I think that's just what Nigeria has done. But the question is, what else can they do? What else can Nigerian government do? You see, in my place, they said when you have a sickness that has eroded the place you use in matching the ground, even if somebody makes you annoyed, you just remain as if nothing is wrong. Now, Nigeria, you see, yesterday we talked about the number of things we received from them. as is it equipment or whatever to fight COVID. Now, they are discriminating against our people. The red line can be as red as, engage the government of China. That's all. Talk to them, because I'm not very sure, I must be frank about this, that that kind of treatment is having government backing. I don't think so. But whatever be the case, whether subtly it has government backing or not, if you protest to them, which is diplomatically, I think they will look for a way to ease such a maltreatment. But what are you doing in China?
Why can't you be in any part of the world? I don't get it, Emmanuel. What do you mean? They can be in any part of the world.
When they don't want you, please leave. But the problem now is that it's difficult to live in this condition.
They have a right to live where they are as long as they've not done anything.
No, they do. But what if the people don't want you? Because what it shows now is that China has been, they have adopted the hypocritical, assuming it have government backing, they've adopted the hypocritical attitude. They now romance with Nigerians on bilateral relations and all that. But on critical issues like this, they start now segregating. That's what it means. You are not needed in my house, and you are in my house. So why can't you look for a way to go?
Because you're also also in my house, in my main house. You're also there.
Right now they can't move, so let them help them.
COVID-19 discrimination, federal government draws red line with China. But they also, within the story, is the fact that the federal government admitted that about 40 health workers have tested positive for coronavirus. And they said in line of their duties, they've exposed themselves. And I'm still thinking, ever